Hi, everybody. This is Judge Jerry Semino in Harris County Probate Court Number 1. I've created this short video to show you what to expect during your Zoom video hearing or trial. And I've created a little PowerPoint here, as you can see, to kind of walk us through all of that. So first thing that you're going to need is the technology that's going to get you there. You can have a telephone. An old telephone would be just fine if you have nothing else. We'll give you a phone number that you can call into, and you can still join the Zoom meeting even without a computer, but it'll be audio only. So we won't be able to see you, you won't be able to see us, and that'll be particularly problematic when it comes to sharing documents, specifically if you're going to be offering documents into evidence. A smartphone would be a better way to go, with a smartphone with a camera like an Apple or an Android. You can download the Zoom client at the Apple App Store or at Google Play. It's called Zoom Client. Make sure you have that downloaded first, and you'll be able to join us via video on your iPhone or your Android. What I prefer and what works best is a laptop or desktop computer with a camera, a microphone, and good internet. That's the best way to be able to connect to your Zoom hearing, to be able to see everybody well on a large enough screen, and to be able to share and receive documents to look at during the proceeding. The software that you're going to need is the Zoom client software. And you can find that at zoom.us. Look at the resources area, and let me show you what that's going to look like. Right here, this is the Zoom website. Over here, you'll see resources up at the upper right-hand side, and just click on that and download your Zoom client. And that way, you'll be able to access the software that you need. Make sure that it's downloaded well in advance of your hearing. So what do you need? What's next? Setting your hearing. Setting your hearing is same routine as always. You call the court coordinator of the court in which your case is to set your hearing. And for Probate Court 1, you would call 832-927-1401, and we'll help you set that hearing. We're going to have a little bit extra stuff, though, that we have to do, because we need to send you an email confirming your appointment. It'll be like an Outlook appointment that contains all the information that you need to start the hearing online. Now, when you receive that information, if you're the attorney, you're the only one that's going to receive this information. We will not send this information out to your clients or to witnesses. So if you have those folks who are going to be appearing remotely as well, in other words, not in your office, make sure you forward that information to all your clients, all your witnesses who need to be a participant in the hearing. And what that looks like is this. You'll receive this email it'll look like an Outlook calendar event. Make sure that you accept the calendar event so that we know you got it. And right here in the Zoom, in the body of the calendar event, and you'll be able to double click this on your Outlook and pull it up anytime you want. You'll be able to click on the Zoom meeting link here. It's the one in blue right at the top. Just click on that link, join Zoom meeting. It'll open up your Zoom client, and it will sign you into the hearing without even a password. So this is the information you send on to your client. Now, the way that you do that is once you've accepted it, you can go back into your Outlook invitation, and you can click forward and then to your client, or you can just simply go into the body of this and highlight it, copy it, and paste it into a regular email, and then send it to your client that way. That'll work just fine. On the day of your hearing, when you click on that link, you're going to see this. The Zoom client is going to pull up a dialog box here. It's going to ask you to, well, it's in kind of opposite order here, but test your speaker and microphone. Do that first. And if you're having issues with your speaker or your microphone, call the court and we'll try to walk you through it. Once you're satisfied that your speaker and microphone are working well, then click the Join with Computer Audio, And the next dialog box that you're going to get is this one. Just enter your name, just so we know who you are. When you enter your name in there, your video that the judge will be able to see will have your name listed down at the bottom, and you'll be able to see everybody else's name. So no usernames, no nicknames. Please put your normal given name in there, the name that you go by, and then click Join Meetings. Once you join the meeting, you're going to get this dialog here. This is the waiting room. So you're waiting for the judge to come into court, for example, and you're in the gallery here in court. This is what this is. This is the virtual waiting room. You can test your computer audio again right here. You'll have a link to a YouTube channel where you can actually view the hearings live, or you can copy and paste that link into an email and send it to anyone else that may want to just view the hearing but not actually be involved in the hearing. So that's what you'll see. Now, as far as that YouTube channel, I'll show you just quickly what that looks like. So we have in your web browser our YouTube channel. This is the Harris County Probate Court 1 YouTube channel. This is where the video will be playing of the hearing. Now, all recordings or all videos will be deleted as soon as the hearing is over. They will not be here. You will not be able to see them again. The only official record of any court is that of the court reporter. So these videos are deleted. There's also an administrative order out that you may not record the video no matter where you are, either in Zoom or in the YouTube channel here. You're not able to, you are not allowed to record the hearing at all, subject to contempt of court. Okay, so be careful about that. Let's go back to our what to expect at the hearing. Now, this is an official hearing, so all the judges are going to expect appropriate courtroom decorum, demeanor, and observe normal dress codes. I will be in a tie and a robe, so I'll be looking a lot more official than I do here, and I expect that everyone else would be appropriately attired as well. The clerk and the court reporter, if it's a type of hearing where a court reporter is required, will be present either in the courtroom with me if I'm conducting it from the courtroom, or if any of us is remotely, they will be present on Zoom remotely. So they'll be here too. Documents can be shared via the chat box in Zoom, and I'll show you what that looks like here. Let me see if I can go to that. All right, so here's my Zoom screen, and I'm going to open the chat box, and it opens up a chat box over here on the right. Now, if I want to share a file, I go down to the bottom here and I click File, and it's going to give me a couple of choices. I've integrated my Dropbox into Zoom, and so it's already signed on. That's a little bit of an advanced course. We're not going to go into that right now, but you can share documents directly from your computer. Another reason why you want to be on a laptop or a desktop and have those documents ready to be able to share if you want to. So if I click on that Dropbox, it's going to pull up my Dropbox, and I'll be able to go into a folder and click on a document. And unfortunately, you can only do one at a time, but I can click on a document, choose it, and it works the same way with the computer. And it will be sharing that file in chat, and then it appears up here at the top, and everybody can open it up and look at it. And there's my file right there. So you see everybody. So that's how we share files using Zoom on using Dropbox as well on Zoom, but it works the same way from your computer. So let's go back to our PowerPoint here and see what's next. Interpreters can be designated by the judge in Zoom. So if you have an interpreter who is part of your proceeding, let the judge know who that interpreter is, and that person will be specially selected as an interpreter. Then any person who is a participant who needs that interpretation can click a special button on that person and say whether they want the language that the court is speaking or the language that the interpreter is speaking. I don't have that up to be able to show you here, but I can walk anyone through that once it happens. When you do that, the interpreter's voice will be 80% louder than the proceedings, which will be 20% in the background. So they can hear the proceedings, but they'll hear their interpreter much more clearly. For the and that's how I think that's a very interesting feature of Zoom. For the probate of wills, we have an issue because the original will is in the court, right? And attorneys are remotely, so how can they show the will to their client and ask, or the applicant, and ask, is this true and correct original will, or whatever your question is. And so what you can do is you can ask the court to take judicial notice that the document purporting to be the last will and testament is an original document. And we will take judicial notice if in fact, because we've reviewed all the documents, we've reviewed all the wills, and we will have made a determination as to whether we believe it's original or a copy. And if we think it's different from your application, we will inform you long before the hearing, so you won't be surprised about what the court's idea is about your document. So take judicial notice that the document purporting to be the last will is an original document, and then you, the attorney, can take it from there with your normal prove-up. What to expect after the hearing. For the probate of wills, heirships, administrations, and guardianships, you should have once the hearing is concluded, have those who are required by law to reduce their writing, to reduce their testimony to writing, have them at that point execute their documents. If they're not in your office or if a notary is not available, there are online notaries. That's option number one. Number two is they can do an unsworn declaration on all of these. So, and that's already been approved by our presiding judge in Austin as well as the Supreme Court. So that's perfectly fine, either one. Make sure if you're using an online notary though, it's somebody who is authorized as an online notary through the Texas legislature. It can't be just someone appearing who is a notary online. There is a different license for that, or a different registration for that. So file those completed executed documents as a no-fee document, and then our clerk will let us know as soon as they're accepted. As soon as it's accepted by the clerk, then I will, or the judge will, sign the order as appropriate and email that order directly to you. And once you have received the order, then and only then you can have the personal representative, the administrator, executor, guardian, or whatever, sign their oath. But don't sign and execute the oath before you receive the order. And this is particularly important these days because it may be several hours, or it could even be a day or two before you receive the order from the court. We're going to try to do it as quickly as we possibly can, but we need to know that those that the testimony has actually been accepted by the clerk. That's why you can't just simply email it in. Those may be rejected by the clerk for whatever reason, and so they're not actually part of the court's record. They have to be accepted by the court before I can sign the order, and at that point, your personal representative can sign his or her oath. For contested matters, jury trials right now are prohibited by Supreme Court emergency order until further notice. We're hoping we'll get them back in May or so, but we just really don't know right now. It's entirely up in the air. There are some issues with service of citation. You may have a process server or even a constable who is not comfortable going somewhere to deliver the citation, so you can do it in person, as we're talking about, or by certified mail return receipt requested. That's under Texas Estates Code 51.052. Or you can do alternate service under Texas Rules of Civil Procedure 106 in any other manner that is shown to be reasonably effective to give notice. So give me a reason why you think this would give reasonable notice, whatever method you've come up with. And if I agree, or if the court agrees with you, then we'll sign off on a 106 alternate service. For discovery, know that depositions may be taken remotely because we can take sworn testimony remotely, particularly now expressly under the new Texas Supreme Court Emergency Order the first one and the third one. Evidence, you can share documents and digital, please share your evidence with opposing counsel and all parties involved. And to the point, or to the extent that you can, agree as to their admissibility. If you cannot agree to their admissibility, that's perfectly fine. We'll take it up in court, but it'll move things along a lot faster. And that's kind of a good general rule to follow no matter what. Even if we're doing trials or hearings in court, it's nice to have agreements as to admissibility on certain documents. But you don't have to do all of that. I mean, you don't worry about it. If you have rebuttal evidence or other evidence that becomes necessary during the trial that you haven't shared before, you can still upload that document in the way that I just showed you through that file sharing button in the chat area of Zoom, and we will take it up as we would normally for any other evidence that comes up in the middle of trial. You can also invoke the rule if you want. If you invoke the rule, then those who are witnesses who are non-parties will be placed into a separate room, a virtual room, where the court cannot hear them and they cannot hear the court. The only problem is that Zoom or that YouTube channel is broadcasting live. And so I will admonish the witnesses who are under the rule not to review it, and that if they do review it, they may be subject to contempt of court. Virtual attorney ready rooms are also available. If you need to be excused to consult with your client at any time and you're given permission to do so, I can create, any court can create a virtual attorney ready room and put you and your client and anyone else in there that you need to speak privately, where out of the sight and hearing of the court. And then you can notify the court when you're ready to come back, and I can bring you back when you're ready using that chat area. You can chat with the judge and say, hey, judge, we're ready to come back out. I'll move you back out of the room. Mediation can be done through Zoom as well. And this is very effective, and it's already being done, because you can all meet in the main room like you will be in court and do your opening statements if you've agreed to do that. And then at the point where it comes that you need to be separated out into your various caucus rooms, the mediator can create those rooms and put you and your clients and whoever else is attending via video that's agreed to. You'll be in those caucus rooms. You won't be able to hear what's going on in the other room, and the mediator won't be able to hear you or see you until the mediator actually enters into that room to talk with you. So mediation is very effective over Zoom, and I see this as the wave of the future too. I think it's probably going to happen. So if you have other questions, we have on our court website everything that I'm talking about here. Let me show you what we have. Now this is, you can go to probatecourt1.harriscountytexas.gov up at the top, or you can just do a Google search for Probate Court 1. And you'll see all the documents that I'm talking about here in this video can be pulled up and downloaded and reviewed later. So here we have the instructions for video hearings and trials. This is the outline that I'm going over for this video. You can download that for yourself and keep that. We also have other orders and information that you may find helpful. We have the administrative order prohibiting the recording of remote court proceedings right there for you. The order invoking the protocol for emergency public health and safety reasons. This is the order that the probate courts did back in on the 13th day of March. Actually, we started that on the 5th or 6th of March. We had these drafted and ready to go. But these are all the protocols that we are currently under regarding remote hearings and trials, bench trials, all kinds of information, and plus contact information for each of the courts. So you can go and download that there. Well, I hope that this was very helpful for you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email the court. You can find all of our email addresses except for mine on our website, or you can call us at 832-927-1401. Thank you very much, and good luck in your hearing or trial.